Well, it's draft day where dreams come true. I'm Colin Mayfield here in the Impact Studio on WCNC Plus, gearing up for our Panthers special that will start at 7 o'clock, going to go all the way to 11. There's a lot happening, and we expect a lot to happen. So let's bring in Sports Director Nick Carboni. Nick, good to have you. I know you're still preparing. Talk about the special, what you guys are going to be having in the next 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, this is an awesome thing that we haven't been able to do before this live Impact News studio. We are going to be live talking Panthers draft from 7 o'clock all the way to the beginning of the draft and all the way until the Panthers come up on the clock at 8. And then once they make the pick, that's the beautiful thing about being live. Keep it right here because we're going to be breaking down who the pick is, how they fit the Panthers, anything we know about them. And then we're going to hear from that pick once they talk to the Charlotte media sometime after they're selected. So it's something we haven't done before, but we are so excited to have this space to do it because, listen, you watch the draft, you hear the analysts talk about the pick until the next pick is made. We're just talking Panthers. And in those 7 picks before Carolina is on the clock, well, those are just signals to what the Panthers might end up doing. Okay, this person came off the board. That means this person is still available for Carolina.
Okay, so we'll have experts as well. Danielle Stein is parked over at Bank of America Stadium to bring us any updates. We imagine that things will be fast and furious. I've already seen a number of different...
and there's a trade possibility too, so you never could trade back.
Yeah.
And, I think that's actually a likely scenario.
Okay, we'll see where it goes. I know you still got to get ready. We'll see you in about less than 30 minutes now on WCNC Plus. Again, tell your friends and family to download WCNC Plus right now on their smart TV. You can stream for free. It's not just this content tonight, but this is why this is so critical, because we're able to bring you breaking information, developing news, just like on draft night. It takes a lot of work to do so, but we love to do it here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. It's been a crazy day in terms of breaking news. Obviously, last week we had one death on I-77 when that bus overturned in Chester County. Today we had another bus accident. It was not anywhere as severe in terms of the people that were hurt and what we saw from the scene. But we did report and an update here that at least 7 people were injured in a crash involving a CATS bus. This happened in North Charlotte just today. It happened right after 3 o'clock. More so towards 3:30. This is what the scene looked like. And what we were told is from medic that I said 7 people injured in that crash. So it's great to hear that this wasn't worse. It happened at the intersection of Beatties Ford Road and Slater Road, which is, if you know, past the McCrory YMCA. We did see medic crews, multiple crews responding to that scene, including a mass casualty bus just in case. As I alluded to, we did see that terrible accident on 77 last week, which we know was just tragic, not just for the school and the people involved, but for the community as a whole, thinking about those individuals and those students on that bus. So 7 hurt in this. One person did suffer serious injuries. That person taken to Atrium Health Carolina's medical center. Other patients only suffering minor injuries. So hopefully they will be okay and recover fine. CATS bus, it said it was number 1054. And what happened was that it was hit by another vehicle, forcing the bus off the road. The driver was out of control at that time, struck some utility poles and a tree. So the driver was one of the people injured in this crash, CATS says. So it had substantial front-end damage, as you can see from that photo right there, including a shattered windshield, piece of debris scattered all along the sidewalk, and that black SUV up on that tow truck as well with a smashed rear window. So information oncoming for this. I expect we'll get hopefully an update from CMPD by 11 o'clock. We have asked them to give us more information. Sometimes it does take them a little bit of time as this is an active investigation, but we'll hope to have those updates for you. And looks like, Jeb, we're going to go to the crime operation in Mooresville next. Is that what we're going to look at? All right, I'm going to check here. Having some technical difficulties. I do not have this up right now. But anyway, as we continue to get things together here, want to again remind you, 7 o'clock, our draft special, going to give us a lot of information solely, specifically on the Panthers, of course. So it's going to be some interesting stuff. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm not getting any updates. All right, awesome. So we know today, earlier, that the Mooresville police, they announced multiple arrests for crimes against children. Quite a big bust here. They talked about this, and we were live for this. Let's listen in on this.
I'm Ron Camperciani. I'm the police chief here in Mooresville. Before I read a prepared statement and take questions, let me just explain to you who's up here. To my left is Captain Jamie Quinn, who oversees Criminal Investigation Division. To his right is Detective Brandon Stiers, who oversaw this operation. To their right is two of the Board of Commissioners from Mooresville, Gary West and Will Avens. So I'll read a prepared statement, and then I'm going to get into a little more detail on these arrests, and then I'll take questions. The Mooresville Police Department recently brought charges against 8 individuals for internet crimes against children as part of Operation Millstone. This operation brought together several municipal, county, state, and federal agencies. Through the work of 78 personnel across 21 agencies, Operation Millstone led to the arrests of suspects ranging in age from 25 to 91, who use various online platforms to solicit minors. This operation also builds on the success of May's 2024's Operation Artemis, which led to the arrest of 15 individuals. The Mooresville Police Department would like to thank the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Homeland Security Investigations, United States Secret Service, North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation, Brunswick County Sheriff's Office, Cabarrus County Sheriff's Office, Catawba County Sheriff's Office, Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department, Conover Police Department, Cleveland County Sheriff's Office, Davidson Police Department, Gaston County Sheriff's Office, Hickory Police Department, Huntersville Police Department, Lancaster County Sheriff's Office in South Carolina, Lincoln County Sheriff's Office, Maiden Police Department, Newton Police Department, Scotland County Sheriff's Office, and the Statesville Police Department for their assistance in Operation Millstone. So the individuals taken into custody: Damon Jeffries, 25, of Salisbury, charged with felony soliciting a child by computer and appearing. He received a $250,000 secured bond. Justin Creech, the second, of Mooresville, charged with felony soliciting child by computer and appearing. He received a $30,000 secured bond. Jorge Armando Martinez, 37, living in Charlotte, charged with felony soliciting by computer and appearing. He received a $30,000 secured bond. Ismael Vasquez, 33, living in Charlotte, charged with felony soliciting child by computer and appearing, received a $30,000 secured bond. James David Courtney, 91, of Lexington, South Carolina, charged with felony soliciting child by computer. He received a $50,000 secured bond. Eddie Rigdon, 72, of Leland, North Carolina, charged with felony soliciting by computer. He received a $2,500 secured bond. And William Dane Toby, 75, of Salisbury, charged with felony soliciting child by computer and appearing. He received a $30,000 secured bond. And the last one was Manuel Crispin Gonzalez, 35, Winston-Salem, charged with misdemeanor, no operational license and fictitious or altered tag. He received a $1,000 secured bond. There's a little more to that I'll get into in a second here. So, a couple things I want to point out before I take your questions. When you look at this, we mentioned Operation Artemis here that we did last year, and I think on its outset, if you look at purely the numbers, you'll see that we arrested 15 in Artemis, we arrested 8 here. So, you know, it would give you the sense like, well, was this operation as successful as Artemis? Does that mean it's not as prevalent as it used to be? Both of those statements are false. The people that we arrested here, I view as more dangerous than the people we arrested, the bulk of the people we arrested in Artemis. And I'll go into a couple of things with that. So Damon Jefferson, who you see here with the hoodie, with the chain around his neck, he was charged in a similar operation in Cabarrus County on 10/15/24 same thing for soliciting a child by computer. So that's still an active case that he had pending, and then he does it again. In addition to that, he admitted to investigators of 4 other hands-on offenses involving minors that are also being investigated this time by the Rowan County Sheriff's Department. Another one is James Courtney, the 91-year-old male you see here. We have received a phone call from an individual who alleges that sexual assaults have been going on for decades involving Mr. Courtney. So we're in the process of investigating that too. And as I said, these individuals, at least him, these alleged crimes are going back decades. And it may have been many jurisdictions throughout the United States. It's our understanding they moved around a lot. So we're looking into that, and we don't know how many other agencies are going to be involved in that. William Toby, which is this individual here, next to the one in the orange shirt. This operation ran last week from Tuesday through Thursday. Mr. Toby was on chat lines continuously through people we had working, the chatters, through the weekend. He was arrested on Monday. We were going to have this press conference on Monday, but we held it off because he was still on the line. He told the chatters that he was going to be at the Cannonball baseball game over the weekend. He was there with an individual that we believe may be his son and perhaps his grandchild. But the chatter also went to the game knowing he was going to be there. While he was there, the chatter also engaged in these continual sexual conversations with Mr. Toby while he was at the Cannonball game. And the chatter could see him taking out, he would text him, he would take out his phone, be in constant communication. So, like I said, I think these individuals are a danger because of what we've seen and the additional things that we know that could be coming on board. So one other thing I want to mention before I take questions, because I think this is important. It's important for the parents. I'm going to read you a list of the sites that our chatters were on and talking to these people. Parents really need to start paying attention to what sites their child are going on. When they see these childs, or if they can check their phones, they've got to be aware. I mean, all of these individuals thought they were meeting 13 or 14 or 15-year-old males or females for sex. That's what they thought. So in that wheelhouse, if you have a child in your house this age, you've got to start paying attention to what your child's on. So the sites that were most prevalent in this were Sniffles, Craigslist, Kik, which is K-I-K, Skip the Games, and Wire Club. Those are the ones that we saw the most. Those are the ones that we got the most of these hits off of. So I'll take any questions you have.
Well, with every one of these arrests, what does it mean to your police department to be able to, get these folks off the streets?
Yeah, so listen, it's important. We've made this a priority here. Obviously, we started it last year with Artemis. It was the first time we had ever done anything like that here. This is we go by what the community wants, right, and what we feel. And this is obviously a problem, and it's a problem nationwide. As you'll see, none of these people are from Mooresville, so they're all coming here. The individual from South Carolina drove 3 hours to get here. So it's important for us to do that. We're going to keep doing these. We have a different plan. I can tell you this. We have a different plan of attack for next time. We're already planning the next sort of operation. We have a different thing that we're going to roll out, some different strategies that I won't get into now, but because we can't keep doing the same thing. To that point, we did have one of the people that they were chatting with, the conversations were starting to heat up a little bit, and he said, yeah, well, why don't you Google Operation Artemis, and you'll see what we're talking about. So I hope you find what you're looking for. So the people that are using these sites are obviously aware of what we're doing, and that's fine if it helps. What we don't want I mean, it's, you know, we're taking these predators off the street, they're not here, but it's analogous to what I don't like to see, and the problem with these things is I don't want us to assume here in Mooresville that we're eradicating these people and it's a safe place. We want Mooresville to be safe, and we think for the most part it is. But I don't want it there to be the perception. It's analogous to sort of stepping in a puddle, right? You step in a puddle and the water, right? The water goes and you pick up your foot and you go, oh great, it's dry, right? The water's going somewhere, right? And so these are people that are in the outside area. And I can tell you this, there was a chatter that had talked about, and it was on, they were talking about it on a site, and they listed these people listed areas that they would service, like go to. And they listed Huntersville and Cornelius and Charlotte. They listed everybody around us, but they didn't list Mooresville, which tells us, okay, so they think Mooresville's hot. That's great for us, but this is wide, right? This is not good for the area as a whole, right? So we're hoping that more organizations will start doing things like this and making it, you know, these people can't have a soft place to land with this stuff.
Chief, did these people actually show up?
They did.
Different places, or?
We had a house that we rented, and they were given, once we knew that they were coming for sure, they were given the address, and they showed up at the house, yes.
I've never heard of those other sites you mentioned, but
Yeah, you and me both.
But I have heard of Craigslist.
Yeah.
And how unusual is it for that type of thing to be on? When you think of Craigslist, you think of trying to get a job or
Sure. So
contract.
you know what? I'll have Brandon come up and talk to that because he's the expert in this stuff. He'll be able to give you a better viewpoint on that than I can.
Craigslist used to have an area called misconnections or looking for dates. They've kind of pushed that away, done away with that. So now when they're on Craigslist, they're more covert about what they're posting. So you have to read through the innuendo that they're posting on there and look at what they're actually asking for. They'll be advertising for things like missed a friend in the grocery store, and they'll have a very ambiguous description of an individual that they're hoping to meet. And that's the kind of postings they're putting out there now. They don't have a true dating section on Craigslist anymore. They've pushed that out because of these problems, but it's still out there. They're hiding it in other sections of Craigslist, if that makes sense.
And can you talk a little bit about what the other sites are and then how they're, I guess, those tools?
Yeah, Sniffles and Wire Club are basically old school chat rooms that are still active. There's just people from all over the world to get on there, and we have to sort through and filter through and find people that are more local. Kick is an old.
All right, we're going to wrap this. If you want more information, we do have it over on WCNC.com, almost at WCNC Plus, which is where we're on. We also have it through our streaming app, which is WCNC Plus, and over on our mobile app. You can download that through the App Store or any other where you get those applications. So getting excited. We're 12 minutes away from our draft special. Looking really forward to this. By the way, we're going to be asking for cooperation from you, those people at home who are listening here on WCNC Plus. So we want to know your questions, right? That's why we're here. That's why we're creating this entire draft special, to get the questions answered. A lot of folks want to know who's going to be drafted, when, what will the draft look like. So you can text us at 704-329-3600, starting at 7 p.m., by the way. Don't send those just yet because they might get lost in translation or end up somewhere in the ether. But anyway, please text us. Let us know. We've got the guys on Locked On who's going to be here with Nick as well. So just about a minute away. We're going to close things out here. Get ready for our special on WCNC Plus, and then Nick will take things away from 7 all the way up until we hit the linear newscast, I think, tonight at 11 o'clock. So looking forward to everything that we have. I want to thank everyone who is watching and listening here on WCNC Plus. Again, tell your friends and your family to download this, because this gives us a competitive advantage over our competitors, giving you the developing news and sports that matters to you, especially like this on draft night. We've got so many other things that we're looking forward to. We're going to bring in people from WFMY as well. We've got Danielle Stein, who is at Bank of America Stadium, close to the War Room, and listening in on that. So we'll get ready for the sports team to take over right here on WCNC Plus inside the Impact Studio.